What's up, vegan savages, and welcome to another episode, Vegans Podcast, with Brittnee Bond, aka the Sex Goddess, and me, Ferdinand Beck, aka Ferdi. We're here, out here, creating the most epic timeline on a spaceship called Earth in a year called 2023, traveling the infinite multiverse, getting so many downloads, getting so multidimensional, dreaming about other timelines, and just making this the most epic one, learning from others to pull it in this reality where we found each other. And that's why this timeline became so precious to me. So let's all celebrate this timeline by taking a deep breath, Brittnee style. And ask the $1 million question. How do you feel in your body right now?
I feel very, like when you've been like crying a lot and then you have this huge release and then your body just feels like, and you just want to get cozy and like watch movies and cuddle your dog. That's how I feel.
I don't know.
You don't cry ever.
Yes, but not so often. And then it's like this, like, when I was in the hospital, like there I cried a lot, but then it was never like that.
Okay, whatever. This is how I feel.
Okay.
How do you feel in your body?
I feel really good. Like always, I feel like, and now we've figured it all out, But I think that all the time. And then yesterday, we figured something else out, and I'm like, okay, I guess it never stops. I guess that's where we're still here, being physical, because there's still something, even for us. But it feels like pretty clear, and
your eye twitched a little bit when you said
No, it feels so right being back on Kopangan, and it feels so good just being, following our excitement always comes back to the formula, and it's so nice that it's right now so many, just for me it's so much focusing on staying grounded, on healthy lifestyle choices, like moving every day, like taking a massage every day. Like I realized how powerful this permission slip is, like how excited I am to use this daily, because it's like, BJJ Julian, he meditates daily for an hour, and what is that? Our massage, it's like an hour of meditation, and things are happening so fast, like on our level of consciousness. It's every day, everything that comes, we look at it, we implement it, we grow, and to get like clear, like who am I, what is my individual excitement, my authentic self. And our massage afterwards, I always feel so clear. So I'm excited to just, and I'm so blessed, like what is life, that this is, so yeah, I'm feeling really good. I had a good training. I'm sleeping really well. And I'm excited to move here in the collective to the kids for like a week, but flow state maybe just for a day because it's all shifting fast. But then this is what I want, I was in Berlin, and I remember like during Corona, weeks went by and nothing much happened. And then I was longing for this adventure, because I'm not the guy who is settling. But then I sometimes think I am, but then when I do, it always feels stupid. And I'm like, okay, now what? And now I'm gonna get old here, and that's my life. I'm like, nope, there is all the magic around us. Let's be Indiana Jones and surf the rainbow road in this multiverse, and live our best lives by being our authentic selves, and living our life theme, our purpose, our destiny, like why we chose to come here, what our higher selves chose with their free will, and like we're doing that, and that is the greatest purpose and gift to do that.
Most people don't ever get this far.
Exactly. And this is like, and this is so exciting, because there's no one really I can look to. They are ahead, they are doing it. No, there's no one. I don't see any other human like us. And it's like, we're truly stepping in the unknown. But who is there? Our higher selves, and they guide us. But by this feeling we call excitement, like this is you. But it's so nice to discover that and have the best company, which is Afro, which is you. All right.
When I woke up this morning, you were on one side of the bed looking at me, and Afro was on the other side of the bed with her head on the bed, like, "Are you awake yet? are you awake? And I was like,
They were sleeping so cute, like this cute queen, and we were like, wake up, we wanna get some love out of you. And then I got so much love out of you by just squeezing you. Okay, and we had a successful road trip. Shall we tell them about?
sure.
Okay, because I think it's fun to tell them about our learnings from the road trip, and I love our podcast because we take people along our journey and make it so relatable that we speak from our lives, so it's relatable. They're like, hey, I've experienced something similar, or I've been in this situation, and then how we learn and grow from that. Because I don't want to seem like these perfect aliens, because I mean, you can call either everything is perfect or nothing is perfect. I think I prefer saying nothing is perfect, but everything is wholesome. And once you get that you are always wholesome, that you cannot fuck it up, then there is no pressure, and you can just live and learn and grow and become. And Brittnee and I, we went on a road trip, and here's my first learning. You ready?
I want to talk about something else first.
Okay.
And then we can talk about the road trip. I want to talk about what happened yesterday first, because I feel like that's really present for me.
Okay, let's go.
And
I love
if
that.
I talked about something else in a very logical, analytical way, then my emotional reality would be like, meh, I don't want to do that.
Always talk about what we want to talk about the most. And I want to talk about the most what you want to talk about it, so let's talk about it.
I have been really facing the reality of wanting to be fully in my power and also fully in my joy and like pleasure. And part of that is being so awake and then my body having all of these reactions and emotions. And basically I was raised in an environment where there was a lot of drama and chaos and negative stuff. And my core vibration is joy. And then I have this programming that I'm realizing now that's coming up because it wants to get faced, is that I start looking for things that are maybe going to go wrong and start reacting to them. And then it gets worse when I haven't eaten or if I've exercised too much. And yesterday I exercised a lot and I didn't eat enough. And then just everything feels like it's going to go wrong. And
Or when you need a nap.
Or I need to nap. Like yesterday morning, I was getting so many downloads at like 3 a.m. And I looked back on the day and I was like, I basically have been awake since 3:30 in the morning. No wonder I'm tired. Like, why didn't I just let myself like lay down for a little bit? And this morning I slept a long time and didn't go to the gym. I ate a ton of food this morning. I had cacao and oatmeal and watermelon. And I laid in bed and gave myself permission to just read a really good book that I'm reading. And I just feel so much happier. And I messaged a bunch of my girlfriends. And yeah, the thing that I just feels really big for me right now is like, I really want to let go of this programming. And then at the same time, like, how do I do it in a way that feels good in my body? Because I don't want to completely, like disassociate from it and just be like in like, hard cut, or here's a new program, because there needs to be some transition for my body to feel safe to have a new program. And then there's the reality that we have together of you. It just really hit me yesterday when you were like, where everyone thinks so happy. And I was thinking maybe we'll have a good week, like before you freak out again, basically. And I was like, this is how my ex-boyfriend was with me. Like everything was going really well. And then I would wake up one day and like, he wouldn't want to talk to me that day just for things that I didn't understand. And it was his own trauma coming up. And I'm like, wow, I don't want to be that person where everything is going really well. And then I recreate trauma. But then I also need to like honor what is happening in my body and like, what is it trying to say? And the thing that keeps coming up is I just really need to rest and allow myself to integrate. Like I always say this thing to my girlfriends, like, it's not, can we have everything we want, but it's, will we allow ourselves to receive everything that we want? And that's kind of a mind fuck, because it's like we can have everything we want, but then when it's given to us, like this beautiful relationship we have, our lives that we have, like I've called in and manifested my reality now, and I've come out of a situation that most people don't get out of. But now it would be jokingly, the funniest ironic thing is that the hardest thing is to actually allow myself to enjoy it. And then I was talking to a bunch of my girlfriends yesterday, and they were just saying, it's okay. It's just because your nervous system is used to a lot of chaos and drama. And so in that environment and that frequency, you are queen. Like, you know how to handle things. Like, if anything, you're more on point. But your nervous system is now getting used to the reality of everything can be calm and joyful and keep being calm and joyful. And it's safe to like relax into that. And I was like, whoa, because this is something I've learned in trauma awareness, but it's a whole other, like I've done a lot of training about this and taken courses and I've helped other people, but I haven't had a stable relationship like ours, in a sense where I face my own stuff. And it's so much easier to focus on other people's shit than it is to face our own. But then the second thing that I was thinking about was like women who are in their power and also in their pleasure. Because one of the downloads that we got from our road trip was something about you saying like, you know, I listened to your podcast, Brittnee, and I love all the amazing things you've done in the world. And I want to encourage you to still be in your power while we're in a relationship. And I asked myself, like, am I subduing my power, like, while I'm in partnership? And I really feel like I have been, because that's just a lot of my programming growing up, you know, like with my dad, with my religion, and then also society, where like women are encouraged to in order to be accepted and loved, to be like pretty and quiet and like going with the flow of whatever the men are doing around them. And like from my church platform, they would actually teach that literally men have the last say. Like if you're in a marriage with someone, your husband, you guys, the woman can put in her opinion, but the man decides what happens in everything in their life. And I was just like, I consciously have released a lot of that programming, but to be, I think there's a lot of subconscious stuff still going on, and I'm grateful for coming into awareness of it. And also it's made it so like in the last 24 hours, I've just been like crying a lot and sitting with it and allowing myself to experience it and like feeling it in my body. But then like I have to ask myself, like, what's the best way to heal this and let it go? And I don't want to be sad all the time. And I also, you know, sometimes can feel like the sadness of all of the women in the history and in the world, and the like I want to help everyone, but then I think like the best way that I can help them is by living my best life and like being an example to everyone of like how a woman can be powerful and in her pleasure and enjoy, like, you know, be joyful and like really enjoying her life and really like excited and happy and like soft. Because I see a lot of women, like yesterday I was like asking girlfriends, I'm like, do you know any women who are like super powerful and also really enjoying themselves, you know? And what I see is like women who are very powerful and not very much allowing themselves to feel their emotions, and just very like almost like robots, you know? Like I do the thing and we go out in the world and we do the thing, but then I'm like, who is like a powerful woman like that's in the forefront of sharing stuff with society, and who's also like really in their feminine and like really enjoying themselves and like sexual and free and like, you know, fun. Anyway, these are all my downloads. Yeah. Because I believe like you look at like Marilyn Monroe. So I watched a bunch of her documentaries and I just found it so interesting, because she's actually like, they were talking about her and they were like, she was like a genius. Like she was really, really smart. And then you see her, how she portrays herself in public, because the people who knew her privately, it was like a different version of her. And when she was in public, she would be like this like, oh yeah, I don't know. And she would kind of like make herself dumb. And especially in that time in society, that's what you had to do. But then she became like this big sex symbol for the world. And then, I mean, there's a lot of these, yeah, it's like, but she also really was she had a lot of opinions and a lot of views, and she was trying to help a lot of people on the side, but like in public she was just kind of this dumb blonde. And I'm like, okay, where's the leader where she can be sexual and also really, really smart at the same time, and also be powerful and a leader in the world? And then I just start crying because I'm like, I don't know anyone. And if there's anyone out there, if you're listening to this and you know people, please send them my way, because I would love to have people that I can look up to, because I feel like a lot of people look up to me and they're like, wow, you seem so embodied. And they see me at the play parties, like really enjoying myself and really in my pleasure and really in my power at the same time. And I would love to hang out with other women who are the same. Because sometimes I feel alone in it.
Beautifully said. Keep talking. So yeah, you know, we came like from like we are so alike, we're so mutual, but we come from so different timelines, and mine was mostly full of joy. My mom always encouraged me and supported me by following my highest excitement and like doing it since I popped out of her. I didn't name it like that, but I was doing it exactly like that, you know. I was taking action on my joy, and all the things I know consciously now why it's so nice to do that, because that is who you are, being your authentic self, being your true natural self, by following the formula, which is follow your highest excitement without insisting on any particular outcome, while remain in a positive state, so you can get a positive manifestation of whatever happened, because everything occurs for a reason. And I was always doing that intuitively, like always, and thus experiencing so much joy. Like yesterday I met BJJ Julian, and we were talking so much about the time when we lived like 6 years or so together in Berlin, like the shared flat with him and Philip, and how much joy we had in the discovery, turning vegan, stumbling across Bashar, studying it, becoming minimalists, getting good in the gym, all these things, trying so many things, and having the best time, being so in our joy bubble, and then, you know, getting to experience the all the pain and the suffering in the hospital, like to the extreme that I've been there, you know, that now it's also so great that people find me so relatable, because it's not like, oh yeah, it's only joyful. No, my roots go deep into hell. Like I almost died many times. I wanted during this time to take my life, because it was so painful, and I thought I'm this ugly monster who is just, you know, aesthetically ruined, and then going through that all too, and having to grow so much to coming back fully in my joy, and getting it, like the structure of all of that, and now I'm so happy to be the permission slip for you to tell you, hey, we can stay in that joy, and you teach me all the other things. Like we learn so much mutually from each other, but we can continue the discovery in this joyful way, you know, where we are our inner children, like when they come out and play, it's so, and it can stay like that. It's all neutral. There's no built-in meaning in nothing. It's always us, every single moment. Every single moment is ground zero. There is no past, there is no future. It's always now. What you believe here and now is your reality, your experience. And we can stay in this joyful state, and then what you put out is what you get back. We get the reflection of that reality. And for all what's to come, what we're seeing, it's all embraced in a joyful way. That's like, that needs to be our bread and butter. I don't know if that is an English saying too. To you know, to shift in that reality we're seeing so clearly, where we're becoming the sixth hybrid race, the hybrid children, being part of the Interstellar Alliance, cleaning up the Earth, all of that, the transformational age, and being like leaders in that. It's, you know, it's all based on joy, and it's not we're on joy to get a certain outcome. No, it's simply what we prefer. It's our nature. It's our choice. And for me, it's already so at this. It's the second nature. Like going back to negativity. It's so much resistance in me. It's like when Bashar says, I would need to take my hand, like if I take my hand and punch me as hard as I can, like I have so much resistance doing that. Like why would I chop off my finger? Like it's so much resistance. Like, of course I can do it, but like why the fuck should I do it when I know the mechanism and I've experienced both? And it's simply what I so prefer, this joyful state, you know? Like then yesterday when I met with my soul family and we played spike ball and we were going for food and when we went to the sauna and the ice bath, and we were just laying in that joy, and it's like this is everything. There is nothing else out there besides the here and now, and how we design the here and now is totally up to us. And this is so what we prefer, and I know where you've come from, and this is new for you, and I see it in other people, not speaking about you, but I see it in other people, that they have like this addiction to, they create something, so it's quote unquote exciting because something is happening. Because what does it do? It does quote unquote it does the same. It kicks you in the present moment. Like when we create some trauma, some bullshit, we're so present, there's something happening, all our focus can go there, but it's just, it doesn't fulfill us. We can have the same from a joyful approach, from a creative approach, where we actually create something that hasn't been here yesterday and go in the direction we want, and don't go in circles of just creating something. So we're present and connect on that level like this. And I can see why people do that. Like it's nice, but if you experience the joyful side, this is so much nicer. This is all what we want and can stay like that. And I think yesterday was another big breakthrough of you realizing this is what you, like you experience all this shit, and to grow so much. Like I know not a single person that has grown so much like you. Everything that got in front of you, you looked at, you implemented, you grew out of it. But what all that growth, all that power, if you not now look at the joyful side and celebrate that power and all of that, and you know it too in your heart. So and us, you know, us being these joyful beings, and with joy I don't mean that we're bouncing around up and down all the time like this morning, which was so nice, but it's just, it can be this peaceful moment of bliss, you know, just we're getting a massage next to each other. We're laying in the bed next to each other. You're reading. I'm flowing on my Mac. And it's just this love we're bathing in. And it can stay like that. And everything, like we wake up being blessed. The sun beams in the window. And we're like, oh, it's a beautiful another day to be alive and share existence together. So yeah, Brittnee Bond, are you willing to choose the joyful timeline with me? And not, oh, it's only good vibes only, it's real vibes only, but you know, we can choose that more and more, and it's like, as Sasanis, simply stay at that.
Yes, but I want to say something to what you said, because a big reason why I was getting even more triggered yesterday was I felt that you were trying to intellectually get me there when I was in a very big emotional response. And I want everyone who's listening to this to really honor where they're at right now and create a lot of space for their emotions. Because the second that we do that, the emotions go through our bodies and they're not stuck anymore. And so when we are having an emotional response, that's not necessarily the time to just completely, hardwire it intellectually. It's like, give yourself a half an hour to just let all of your emotions out, whether they're good, bad, ugly, sideways. And then come back to, okay, what do I actually believe here? And what is my deep inner knowing? And when I was talking to one of my girlfriends yesterday, she's a therapist, and I was talking to her about everything that happened and stuff. And she knows my story. She's been with me, one of my very good friends, for probably like 5 years. And she's like, Brittnee, all that sounds like what you were telling me, everything that happened was just your inner child having a reaction, like the little inner kid in you that wants to be safe and have space to feel all her feelings and to play. And when you were a kid, you didn't have that. And so it's just making sure that you're safe still. And so you, as the loving parent now, whenever your inner child's having a reaction like that, you as your like inner loving parent can, you can close your eyes and like imagine your inner parent giving your inner child a hug. And she's like, and then if Faraday wants to be there for you and he has the space to do that emotionally, he can ask you, how is your inner child feeling right now? And then just allow yourself to feel your feelings. And it can just be for like 5 minutes or 10 minutes, just to be in your feelings. And then you can be like, okay, as the loving parent inside of myself, I don't have to sit with this. I don't have to choose this as my reality. It doesn't have to take over my reality. And then you switch gears to what do I actually believe, and like what do I choose in my timeline right now? But what I found yesterday was like I was trying to intellectually make myself switch over to, I don't want to feel this anymore. But then it was getting stronger, and then my whole body was like shutting down. Like I couldn't think anymore because my emotional body was like, no, 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 we want you to feel these feelings. They're trying to teach you something. And the big thing it was really teaching me yesterday was I just need to rest. Like I really need to give myself some time to like integrate. Because when you go through a lot and then you switch gears, even if it's like really, really amazing things are happening now, sometimes too much, too fast can be trauma in itself, even if it's really, really good things. And that's why this week it feels so amazing to know that I'm just giving myself full permission to be like, everything's perfect this week. If something is going to go, if my inner child or my subconscious or whatever is my old programming is trying to make it so something sounds like it's going to go wrong, I'm just going to journal about it, not act on it, not freak out about it. And then next Monday, give myself a whole week to just be okay and be happy. And next Monday, I'll look at everything. If there is things that actually need to be addressed, then I will talk about them. But for this week, I'm just going to chill and give myself permission to play and rest and read. For me, reading is like my happy place. I love reading. So I'll just give myself a lot of time to like read and to go to the sauna and get massages. And that's my like integration of all of the good things that are happening. And then I have more space to like flow with them. And the second I give myself like a time period where I allow myself to rest, I come back and I have so much energy and I want to do all the things in the universe. And like some of our downloads from our road trip, we have like really big projects coming and I need to have energy for them. And I have energy for them intellectually, but my body needs to have space to like catch up, you know? And I think that's really beautiful to honor that and just honor whatever's coming up. It's like the more that I can honor it and accept it, the more I can look at it from it sounds ironic, but the more I can accept all of the emotions, no matter how intense they are, the less emotional I actually look at them. Like I don't take them as seriously because I'm like, okay, it's like my inner parents like, okay, your inner child's throwing a tantrum right now. Okay. And then I just let myself have them for like a little bit. And then I'm like, okay, we don't have to do this anymore. We don't need this reality. And then like the more I do that, the less the little 2-year-old inner child throws tantrums and like freaks out. And the more she knows that she's safe, you know? So.
Wait, say it again.
What?
Can you say it one more time? The last thing you just.
Oh, I was just saying, like, the more that I, like, look at, like, yesterday, okay, I was having a strong emotional reaction, and the more that I can, in my own perspective, look at it as, like, okay, my inner child's throwing a fit right now and, like, freaking out, but I kind of look at that from an unbiased point of view of, like, okay, I look at it as if I'm a loving parent, like, okay, the kid's throwing a fit on the ground. But I can allow myself to feel those feelings for a little bit and then switch back into my loving parent in my head and be like, okay, but what do I actually want to do right now? And this is some of our conversation yesterday. You're like, you're too powerful, Brittnee, for me to be your dad and to like, you know, kind of treat you like a little kid. And I'm like, that's fine. I'm not asking you to do that, but I need to do that for myself and give myself that space to just kind of feel my feelings for a little bit. And then it's not snap out of it. It's just like honor it, give my inner child a hug, metaphorically speaking, and then be like, okay, but no, we switch into this timeline now where everything actually is okay. And now we're going to let ourselves be happy and like go play, you know, and rest and do all the things.
I love this permission slip. And that's what I want to talk about permission slips because you said it so beautifully and exactly. It's not that we swallow any emotions down, don't look at them, rationalize them. No. Yes, we get the structure like, okay, emotions come from beliefs. Okay, what do I have to believe is true to experience what I do? These emotions come from a belief. But this journey to get there, feel those emotions and find permission slips where you can feel them and don't suppress them. Because I see other people who are like getting what I'm saying, getting Bashar, and they're awake, but they're not embodied. They're not honoring where they truly are. Like always be truly honest to yourself where you are. And what I realized today, again, what I basically always knew, but today I realized that for me, the gym is this permission slip to have all these emotions in you know, like I love listening to German rap when I work out, and like today I was listening to Zido's old songs, and he's rapping exactly about that. Like in his rap, he so lets his emotions out, and he says like, yeah, I know they're not justified, but I feel them, and now I just say fuck the world, and I'm inside dancing like fuck the world, and doing my heavy squats and rah rah, and just ba ba ba, be in this mood and like sweating it out and having this party of endorphins in my body. And this is, you know, like I love that, and it's never in this where I'm in a negative way, but in this is it's so nice to be human, and this is such a nice permission slip to feel it and let it and think it through. Like sometimes, as you yesterday said, like sometimes I just want to punch you, but I don't want to punch you, and same for you, but in a nice way. But then
in a nice way.
Yeah, but again, it's this, as you said, it's not how I think, it's not what I believe, it's just I'm the observer, you know, like, and it's not even coming in my head that I think it's true, you know. Now it's always this, I know who I am, I know quote unquote what serves me, and I see beliefs from the side and not in my head. Like I could think like that, and then it's fun to think it through, and then like, oh, then I would feel like this and this and this, and then and then I want to run away. Fuck all of that. I'm gonna run away. And then like, no, I looked at it and it doesn't serve me, because then I run away and I come back to this because this is what I want. And it would just be me being dumb. And but it's fun to think that and feel that, but then finding nice permission slips where you don't burn houses, you know. And a good one is not like telling the other when you know this is not what you know. Like that okay, I have these emotions now. I go for a run. I go scream at a pillow. I go journal. I go just meditate. I go get a massage. I go do a beach walk. I have some friends where I can, like Philip was so great in the hospital. He said, like, Ferdi, just let all your frustration out. And first I was like so hesitant, like, no, I mean, I get it all. He was like, no, just let it out. And I was like, fuck all of this. Why does this happen to me? And it felt so good. And he was like, yeah. I was like, yeah. And like having a friend who encourages you, like, okay, we just create space for our inner children to be these dumb crying kids, and we don't take them seriously. And we just, blah, blah, blah. And then by doing that, you realize how dumb that is, you know? And this is also your analogy, which I love, when like
I want us to be able to do that for each
exactly.
other.
And this is now where I'm coming to. What you taught me, this, we're not putting that on each other, like in between us. Like I'm afraid to say it to you because it's like I'm putting this on you, and then it's like we argue. No, we're standing on a side, and I like take your hand and make this gesture, like I put it there, like I put it left or right to us, and we can look on it together. And then I'm just like looking to the left or right and be like da 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 da, and then I put it out. The other one creates space, and then we can look at it, and then you're like, okay, now it's there, and now I can let it go. And I know I suck at this, but I want to get better. So we're both gentle with each other. Like I'm gentle with you to step fully in the joyful side, and I'm gentle with and you're gentle with me, that I stop to immediately, here's the solution, go fix yourself, instead of, okay, I stop myself.
I punch you in the face.
Because it's on the tip of my tongue, because I have the answer, and that is what I'm so known for.
You're always saying, and this is something we know, it's not about the answer, it's about the journey.
Yes, but this is like what I do on my podcast. I give people the answers, but then in a relation,
this is one thing that I got angry at yesterday. I was like, I'm not one of these people on your podcast.
Yes.
Like, how dare you take this away from me? I want to experience this.
That's why be gentle with me. I'm getting so good. Yes.
Like, I'm on your level. I don't need you to rise me to your vibration. We're on the same vibration. And so I want to be able to go through it.
Next time, I'm just going to lay you down, feed you some vegan Snickers. I'm like, oh, yeah, let's take a nap. Waking up from a glorious nap. And then I wake you up, and then, is this really what you wanted to say? And then you're like, no.
Yeah, because last night I did do that. I like read. I ate a lot of food. I fell asleep reading, you came home, and then I woke up and we cuddled, and like everything felt so much better because I went to I didn't feel that you really listened to me or hosted me very well. So I went to my girlfriends and they did that. And then I was able to figure out what was going on. Because I think a lot of times in the world, everyone wants to be so loved and accepted and connected all the time. And so I think this is why sometimes they don't allow themselves to feel these feelings with people, because they're worried that if they're not perfect and they don't have it all together and they're not good vibes only, then their friends are going to be like, I don't want to hang out with you. And I'm like, what? This is the point of like relationships, is that we remind each other of our power and we host space for each other to come back to our power. You know, like you're really good at reminding me of my power. What I invite you to do is host space for me to get back to my own power in my own way. You know, like I just need someone to kind of hold the container, and then like within 5 minutes I'm like, oh, this is dumb, and then I just start laughing about it, you know. But if someone takes that away from me, that journey, then that's when I get pissed off, because I'm like, but I'm powerful enough to figure this out on my own. I don't need someone to tell me. But yeah, like my girlfriends are really good at just hosting. Like yesterday I went and hung out with my friend Rosanna, and she was like, Brittnee, you're doing really good. Like, you're doing a great job. And I just started crying because I was just like, but I feel like the world needs more of me, and I want to have this all figured out, and I want to like help people, and I don't want to live my whole life like sad. Like I already survived like in something that most people don't get out of, you know, and I don't want them to get any more from me. Like I deserve to really take my life back and like have an amazing life. And that's like the biggest fuck you to all the people who hurt me, but also just for myself. And then like, of course I don't want anyone else to feel like what I've been through. So I want to like figure out how to help them. And she was just like, you're doing a great job. You just need to like rest. Like you're going to figure it out. You're already doing more than you realize. And then I went and hung out with my friend Rem, and she was the one who helped me with like, here's some tools and like talking to your inner child, and like here's some things you can tell Ferde. And I was like, I was joking with her, I'm like, this is the stuff that I put on sticky notes and like put on my mirror in the past when I lived by myself. And I'm like laughing because I'm like, these are all things I already know, and then we just kind of forget and remember. And she's like, welcome to being a human. And I'm like, oh yeah, this is kind of the point, you know. But if we can, every time we come back to it, we remember it more and more. And this is the thing about integration, is like, it's only coming up because we want to learn something more from it. It's not looping. It's like, there's something deeper to be learned here. But then of course there is a part of me that's like, again, I don't want to stay there, like emotionally. And I don't think I am.
Nope, we're doing so great. We're doing both so great, and everyone out there too. Like, this human experience is so challenging. Coming here, being so limited, creating such an illusion of disconnection, creating this society based on fear, which makes you suppress your connection to source, and that your negative ego is in charge. And here, this is the structure, and no, there is no connection to source, and God is outside of you, and and all this confusion, like these kill these animals and these kill these animal, and which one should I eat, or should I even eat them at all? Like, what the fuck? My inner voice is saying like this, but on the outside it's all that other shit, and then it's so challenging. So we're all doing so great at this, and coming here shows us how powerful we are as a soul to make this decision to come to this planet, like on the front line here, into the transformational age. I applaud you all. We're all in this together. Let's unite and let's shift that baby.
I love you.
I love you.
One thing I did talk to a friend of mine about, who comes from a very similar childhood to me, of like sexual abuse and different, you know, religious craziness. And he has a wife and 2 kids, and his wife is very similar to you. Like, she had a really secure attachment, like from the attachment style. She had very good parents and grew up in a very secure emotional situation. And he said to me, you know, sometimes in the past I would think like, I want to have someone who really understands me and my pain. And he's like, no, I do not want that anymore. I don't want to sit in my pain forever. I want someone who has the emotional reality of like joy and like, you know, it can like basically be the balanced, stable one when he's kind of going, his body is like throwing him back into that trauma and that pain. And then she's like, no, hold on, I'm here. It's okay. Like you're safe, da da da. And then he's like, you know, and now we have 2 kids. And he's like, our kids absorb our nervous system. And he's like, I'm so grateful that my wife has this nervous system that's so calm and stable. And he's learning to be like that more and more. But he's like, what if both of us was like this? And then our kids would just like absorb that and get fucked up. And I was like, yeah, that's true. And I always remember that, like, and I want you to know this, like, I don't want you to understand. I know you have gone through your stuff, so you understand some of the darkness, but I don't want you to come into the darkness with me. I want you to be like a stable ground that I can like come back into the light, you know?
No doubt. Like, I'm gonna stay here on the joyful side no matter what. Like, if any ship goes sinking, like, I stay here, staying high, floating, showing people that this frequency is possible all the time. How can you be joyful when other people die? How can you be joyful when Corona? Yeah. Because you can, because it's all you, because I can create endless reasons in the here and now why it's not nice, or I don't create a reason and I stay on this frequency, and I would feel guilty not to shine. You know, I show other people that this frequency is possible 24/7, and if I can do it, they can do it. And many people feel guilty for shining. I would feel guilty not to shine.
Yeah, and I feel like a lot of people connect through their misery, like, because that's just what they were taught. It's their programming. It's like British people, they complain so much. Like, all my British friends, we joke about it because, like, if there's nothing else to complain about, they always have the weather to complain about. And that's like how they connect to each other. It's like they meet each other and like, oh, this thing's going wrong today. Oh yeah, that's going. And I'm like, why would you choose that as your reality? And I grew up with a lot of things I could complain about, but I don't want to. I want to live in joy.
And that's why I love educating people about structure of existence, all of that, because they don't even know that they're doing that. Like, hey, what are you doing is connecting about complaining. And it feels good because you're connecting. But did you know that you can connect deeper when you connect in a joyful way, when you find your authentic self and uplift each other? Did you know? And then this connection feels like, whoa, and then once you experience that, you cannot not experience that, and then that's only what you want. And then, like, our connection, like, now we know how deep connection can be when 2 authentic selves find themselves, and like, yeah, this is what everyone wants. Like, when I see other people, whatever they're doing, they all want to connect. And then I see, like, this is the level you're connecting on, like, not any judgment or anything, but I see, okay, it's because you like have all these limiting beliefs that you are afraid to show your love because you think you get hurt or something, that you can only like make fun about each other in this mean and nasty way, and this is your form of connection. But hey, you can actually tell each other how much you love each other, and like, you don't need to be afraid because there is nothing to lose, because you always be a wholesome being. Like, you are complete. Find your own connection to source. Get the formula. Truly get the formula. It always comes back to that. Follow your highest excitement. Like, when you get the formula, vegan savages out there, when you get the formula and when you understand how powerful it is, it's like this atomic bomb of positivity. Like, this is what we're all looking for. You can, you know, like Bashar likes to say it, like, you can, like, yeah, why people are like, okay, follow my excitement, but what else? Why would you want anyone else? If you get it that here are 4 wheels, but you can drive on 3 wheels, you can drive on 2, you can drive on 1 wheel if you really balance. But the point is, there's still a wheel. The point is, there's still a wheel. And what is the wheel? It's follow your highest excitement. This leads you, like where did it lead me? Lead us to us, like the most joyful thing in the fucking universe. Finding your twin flame from a point of abundance where you're your authentic self. How did we get here? By following our excitement. Because this is our higher self. Hey, this way, here's a breadcrumb, and you eat it, and then you get more. But if you don't eat it, it stays, and you keep looping, and you don't look at it, you get the pain, the resistance, and your higher self is like, there's the breadcrumb. It's so delicious. Why won't you eat it? Because I think I need to do this, and then you get pain and resistance, like course correction, and
it's such a vulnerable thing to allow ourselves to be in our joy, because the whole world is pushing us the other way, you know? But it's also like one of the most beautiful things.
But it's not what did you say?
It's a vulnerable
yeah,
thing.
but
it's
it's
the
not
most
vulnerable anymore when you are everything, you are enough, you are wholesome, there's nothing missing, because then no one can take something away from
Of
you.
course.
Because people often think they make their self-worth like, okay, if I open up, like I give him quote unquote something of me, and then if they hate it or something, and then I believe in it, I believe less of myself. But if you get that no one can take something away from you, you're wholesome, it's just second nature that you wanna step out in the world and shine your light.
No, I think I completely agree with you. I just wanted to honor that when you first start doing it, it's vulnerable. But I'm just trying to tell people, do it. It's so worth that.
Just do it.
Okay, do you want to share some learnings about the road trip? Otherwise, we probably won't ever share them.
Are you excited about it?
Yeah.
Okay, so my first learning is, again, and it's things, all the things I already know, but we're just getting constantly reminders. Like there is nothing new. We're just learning it again and again from a different point of view, and it was again to not make assumptions. That my assumption was we're going this road trip, and Thailand is full of beautiful, untouched nature, no tourists, these nice, cute coffee shops. Because I've seen a bit of nature when I
You
drove.
thought it was all like Pai and Chiang Mai.
Exactly. Like when I drove from Chiang Mai to Pai, I thought it's all like that. And which was so beautiful,
It's
you
so
know.
beautiful in the north.
And then just driving down around, we fucked it so up. We create all these resorts, and it's all this tourist stuff, and all this concrete, destroying the environment. I'm like, this is sad. We found the best spot. It's Koh Phangan. Now I appreciate it even more. I want to go back. And then so the first learning, don't make assumptions. So next time I want to go somewhere, I'm going to research more. How is it actually looking? Then the next one is embrace this total flow state, and not, okay, we said, we didn't say anything, but I rented the car for 3 weeks. And then, okay, we rented it for 3 weeks. Now we're going to stick to, no, fuck that shit. Walk away from anything, bounce whenever, and you don't need to explain yourself to anyone. If you don't feel a vibe, a frequency, if you want to go, and we just left. And we even got the money back from the car, like after 1 week.
I was really surprised about that.
Yeah, after 1 week, we were like, we like Koh Phangan. My higher self is like, go back there. Now you appreciate it even more. And I stay in this appreciative state, and I can just bounce. And I love that. I see it in other vegan savages, like BJJ Julian. He went to this meditation Buddhist thing, and he didn't like the vibe at all, and he just bounced. And it was like, best decision ever. I can meditate myself. I can drink a smoothie. I be in my own energy bubble. I love the lifestyle I have in Pai. I can do my martial arts. This is my highest excitement. Follow that. No insistence, no assumptions, and just flow state. And just, you can leave, like you go somewhere. Okay, now I'm here, and what do people think if I leave again? You know, like years ago I had this, I go in the gym, I don't feel so good, and then but the person where I checked in the gym when I go out now, what will she think? Like dumb thing like that. Now this doesn't even cross my mind anymore, but I know many people are at that. Like, fuck that. Most people don't even notice you that much as you think. Most people think everyone is looking at me. No. They are in their own head.
And who cares if they are?
Exactly.
What does it matter?
Just bounce. Like I went to this festival and already paid for the 4 days, but I didn't like the vibe at all. So I bounced. My friends were like, no, you have to stay at least one night. I was like, bye. And I packed my bags and I left. It was the best decision ever. So yeah, that was the second learning.
Mine were that we realized the things that really make us stable in our bodies and like feel good in our bodies, which was having a way where we can exercise every day, you know, being able to do our morning routines, and then having access to good food that's healthy. And then there was one more. Nature.
Yes.
Like good nature.
It's so my highest excitement kind of forever to practice healthy lifestyle choices, because we are physical beings. We experience physical reality in a physical body, and if we take great care of it, it's so joyful. How the fuck you should feel, how can you feel good in the here and now when you underslept, when you undercarved, when you hang over, when you cannot. When I was in the hospital and was in pain, reality, you don't want to live anymore. When you have constant pain.
Yeah, it doesn't matter how awake you are if you don't feel good in your body.
You just want to fucking die.
Yeah.
So everyone knows this feeling, or maybe many don't even, this feeling of being underslept because they're constantly underslept. But if you sleep for 8 to 10 hours every single night, or most of the nights.
That's one thing you were telling me about, like German culture that I didn't understand that you grew up in. Is like people pride themselves on how productive they are to the point where they're feeling guilty about getting enough sleep and like resting. I'm like, what?
I mean, of course, not all, but many. And
but it's
like
a cultural thing.
And in Germany, it's so not a thing to nap in the German culture.
I love naps.
Yeah, give yourself full permission to.
Naps
Like yesterday, I to Julian Zietlow, I was like, Julian, he was like, oh, I'm a bit tired. I was like, give yourself full permission to rest. You have this amazing hotel room now with a sea view, with a hammock. I gave you the book from Bashar, Masters of Limitations. Lay in the hammock every day for 1 to 2 hours and study it, and your body will so reward you. It feels so shitty being underslept, drinking coffee, having this fake energy, being so shaky.
Yeah, I wonder too, like if people even know what their real bodies feel like because they're so underslept and overcaffeinated.
Most don't. Their measure pole is so low. But once you know, that's why when I started, like I turned vegan. I focused on sleeping. I focused on recovery. I focused on rest, avoiding stress, following my joy. I was like, this is how you can feel. And I saw people around me being so miserable. And then I became so excited about social media because I wanted to not reach my direct environment, but the world. So, and that's why for the most time of my quote unquote social media career, it was all about healthy lifestyle choices. A whole food plant-based diet, how to sleep quality and quantity wise, avoiding stress, following your joy, connection. Like, they studied the blue zones. Have you heard of the blue zones around the world where people live the longest? They studied where people live the longest in a healthy way.
Japan has that, like where a lot of the older people
and
live in nature.
all these things, like all what I just said, they're all doing that.
Yeah.
And
but for instance, on our trip, we were like, oh, flow state. We just randomly wanted to go to the beach. And so we drove to the beach and we got a meal. The lady was like, yeah, we make vegan food. And we were so excited. We put it in our vlog. Like, we found this yummy vegan place. And then we got so sick from the food.
Yeah.
And both of us, like, our emotional reality just went so downhill after that. We were both like bickering at each other, like fighting with each other. And like, the world just seemed like a very dark place, but it's because we didn't feel good.
Yeah, and when you know that, okay, every day I already know every single day I gotta give myself the essential nutrients, and I already know how to do that, and like having an infrastructure like here where I know how to do that.
Yeah, I'm so grateful for Copenhagen because there's so much access to like healthy, fresh food.
And then also, okay, the gym, I have a membership there. I can go there, like I go there mostly or often twice per day, like in the morning to exercise and in the evening to sauna and ice bath.
I love the sauna.
And having that right next, this feeling feels so yummy in my tummy. And having that all around, I'm like, then like this great massage place every day. And then it's like, you don't, like often when, like, traveling is great, but we already traveled the world, and our highest excitement is not, I want to see more of, I mean, it is too, but it's like, our excitement is way more, we want to build something, we want to create something deeper, like further our connection, like all of that, create all that space that we have the space to record this podcast. And often when you travel, it's like, you're quote unquote in this more survival mode of, okay, and make it fun that you cover these things in a new way, like this new massage place. But we already done it all. We want to keep going to the same one that is actually nice and have it all outsorted, that I can have so much more space of, I can study Bashar, I can study and have this nice infrastructure of building things.
So we can just be.
We can just be, and we can create things. Like today, I'm going to host an amazing meetup, and I want to make them nicer and nicer. I want to go to the Kirtan thing for the first time. Kirtan thing, like for the singing, first time.
Yeah.
And yeah.
What else did you learn?
Okay. I learned back and forth, sometimes necessary, but then let's learn the lessons. Yeah, that exactly. Like sometimes you have to go back and forth to learn the lesson, but then learn the lesson.
You mean emotionally?
No, yeah, in every way. That sometimes, as you say, sometimes you have to disconnect to feel the connection again. Sometimes you have to leave a place to see that this is actually the place. But then learn the lesson. Not that we're now romanticizing a picture in our head. We go there and then we come back here. Like, I don't want to go back and forth all the time. Like, that's why I really thought it through that we moved now in this different room, because I don't want to move back and forth.
Yeah.
And I felt that we really thought it through. Like, I put a lot of visualization in it, and I'm sure about it. And like, yes, we went back and forth, and now we learned the lesson. You know, I always want to make sure I learn the lesson. Like, this road trip was such a success, such a win, because we learned so many lessons. Make sure we stay in our individual joy and follow our highest excitement. Okay, here's something that I just I wanted to text it to you, but I read it to you. And it goes like this: I will always let you run away. I also know you will always come back. I know that too, so I don't even want to run away anymore. But it's so important that we both take time for ourselves daily to stay our own individual, authentic selves and make sure we follow our own excitement 100%. Because it's like, I never had that. It's like, I'm so good at the formula. I'm so good at following my excitement. But then you come around the corner, someone I love so much, I don't have words for it. Of course, I want to give you the world and everything. And when there's something like, hey, can you do this for me? The first knee-jerk reaction is like, yes, everything. But then I have to make sure, is it my excitement? Because if I do something just to pleasure you, I'm not pleasuring you at all, because it's the frequency where I'm not following my joy, and then it's not pleasuring you at all.
Yeah, and then it comes back on me.
Exactly. So that's why it's so nice to daily separate, to make sure we're following our individual excitement and stay our authentic self and come together in this place of abundance. And then it's always like this, hey, like yesterday I text you, hey, I'm gonna go in the sauna with my friends if you wanna join. But then not like, come, like, and then you can feel, and then it's like, when we do something together, cool. If we do it not together, cool. Like, both timelines are equally as exciting, and the one where it excites us most, this is our true authentic self. And we love each other so much that for most things, or many things, we want to do together. But then when there are these things, like, I want to take the lead on that, I want to do this, then yes, this is how, because I see timelines where people love each other so much and they just go down the hill. And I see these timelines, and I don't want it to be us, and I know we won't. So we make sure of that, and we understand that, and we create the space where, like, even just for me, taking a massage daily and going to the gym without you is already kind of like all the space to clear my head and make sure I follow my individual excitement. And yes. All right. I think that's it. You feel good about it?
Yeah.
I'm excited to get these beanbags for our podcast. Because in this position, I kind of get too relaxed. That I'm like, I don't even know what I'm saying. Like, I'm just so chill. I could, when you read in this position and then you kind of fall asleep. So,
this is the sleeping position.
Yeah. But did it make sense of the things I said?
Yeah.
Kind of?
Yes.
Okay.
You're doing great. What is this stuff?
Oh, some rocker products. Yeah. If you live in Germany, Austria, or Switzerland, there's this company called Rocker Nutrition, which is owned by my best friend, Julian Ziedlow. And I was his greatest permission slip to be his authentic self. And then we turned the company vegan. We turned the company climate neutral, like carbon neutral shipping, all of that in a conscious way. And all in this German way, like the ingredients in
the German way.
Yeah, like not this like it's so like the ingredients are top notch, and now we're more and more going in the organic way. Like my first rocker product is coming out soon. It's a whole food bar and it's organic, and it was already in the advent calendar and people loved it, and it's coming out at the end of February, I believe. And like, yeah, I pushed the organic. Like, it's.
What does that mean? Things were not organic before? I'm confused.
Yeah,
what were they putting in there?
baby, we're shifting in a reality where there is no organic because everything is organic.
Okay.
But it's this thing. Like now we open a whole nother discussion. That many things are.
How did you get these here? Because it only ships to Germany and all these places in Europe. How did you get this here right now?
Austria, Germany, and
But
Switzerland.
tell us your secret.
But I want to tell people that if they want to order something,
Okay.
then we deliver to Austria, Switzerland, and Germany,
Mm-hmm.
and you can save 10% using the code FERDI. And yeah, not all things are organic, but often things don't need to be organic because they kind of are organic, but they don't have this certification. And then it's like for some it's like it's expensive to get this organic certification when they're already organic, and then they would need to,
I just want to already be in the world where everything is organic.
Yes.
Naturally.
But and then here are like amino acids in it which are
I wanna try this one.
extracted.
What is this? Milky cocoa.
Yeah, this is no way.
Eggs?
Our
But it's vegan. Why does it say eggs?
wait, what does it say? Yeah, like on the like these milk eggs. It's like a German
the
candy.
candies.
Yeah, I get them here because nice vegan
There's
sandwiches.
I know.
Like,
I just think it's cute that people bring them for you in the suitcase.
yeah, shout outs to Denise. She brought me some and Jenny some, and this is so lovely.
Do we need anyone else to bring us some, baby?
Yeah, you can if you're coming to Kopangan, if you have some room in your suitcase, and if you want to do me a favor, then surf into my Instagram DMs.
Surf. But yes, order some and
if you know a good cacao company,
10%.
because we love our morning cacao, I'm off the coffee for kinda good. Then
we're looking for good people.
We can because
to
I
partner
don't
with.
like to do these cooperations of times. Like I love accompanying with like long-term partnering, exactly, and then actually giving a shit and changing the world, like turning
It's
rocker in a nice.
The reason why he's saying this is because so many people are reaching out to me on Instagram and saying, where do you get your cacao? You guys really enjoy your cacao. We want to make sure we're getting the right thing. Because on our trip, the monkeys took this is a whole other story if you watch our vlog. We bought like some really nice cacao here from Delhi Devi, and the monkeys came into our room and like grabbed the bag of cacao and ran out with it while I was naked and screaming. And then we had to go to the grocery store and buy some like, it said 100% cacao, but it was basically like hot chocolate, which is not the same thing. It's basically there is something about nice cacao, and there is a difference in quality. And I don't think it's all in my head. I know it's not, because it feels better in my body.
Yeah, of course not. Carl,
yeah.
You're with your foot at the. Did you do it the whole time? No, not the whole time. But are you sure? Because this is my most important angle. So if it's a bit shaky, it's Carl's foot.
Carl
being
is
a little
knocking
kid,
the camera.
Being a little kid, walking at Sand Beach, looking at naked people.
We love our soul family.
Yes.
If you're watching the video, you see them going in and out when we're doing the podcast, and it's amazing. I think that's it.
Yeah, about cacao. That, for example.
Oh yeah, so we're looking for partners of a really good cacao. I mean, I have a friend here on the island who has a cacao company.
That's not what I want. That's what we already said.
Okay,
I want to say that regarding the quality, like for example, a lot of cacao is not fair trade, and this is something like it's not so much then about the quality, but like it's all, it needs to be this win-win-win. Otherwise, it's like veganism, it's win-win-win across the board. It's better for the environment. It's better for your health. It's better for the animals. Like, it only makes fucking sense. And the same should be with everything. That, it's not we're taking advantage of people who work under. No, it should be fair trade. Should also be not a label.
It needs
that
to
everything
be good energy
all the way exactly,
good
and then you
energy.
can taste it. And this means being fair trade, being organic, being made with love, being processed in a way where you keep the nutrients, and
then it feels so yummy in our body.
Oh, so yummy! And then you get so aroused, and then you make beautiful love, and you're at Sand Beach and the water,
baby.
Not that we have done that. I mean,
you just want to tell the whole world.
No. Baby was my best experience of my life.
Babe, stop.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, should we end it here? If you're still listening, check out Brittnee Bond on Instagram and her podcast, because her solo episodes, babe. Tomorrow morning when you wake up alone, because I'm going to move here for a little bit, you should make podcast in the morning. Like, I will. That's why I be your next door neighbor, that you have all that space.
After I rest.
And first thing in the morning, your energy is so clear, and you're just in this channeling state, which is this orgasmic.
I think I'm going to make a whole podcast about what I was talking about on this one. Yeah. But once I process it more.
Yes. Okay. Thank you so much for listening. Until next time, we're out.
Bye.
Peace.
Eat your chickpeas. Or not. Follow your highest excitement. Freedom is your birthright. Out. Huh? Don't you like my epic intros and outros?
Yeah, sure.
You see?
Hello, Bashar.
And to you, good day.
So, somewhat in the spirit of Willa's wisdom about our connection to nature and our interdependence with nature.
Your connection as
nature.
Nature.
Fair enough. What I want to know is, why is there still to this day so much resistance against the environmental movement when nature is clearly crying around us? I mean, look at what's happened in California recently, and Alaska, and all over the world for that matter. And I just published a book called Eco Renaissance, and I'm trying to activate that awareness. But there's definitely this, modern day Star Wars of, camps of people that are really passionate about it and others that are resistant.
And you do understand that these represent completely different parallel realities, yes? You're splitting into multiple parallel realities physically. So you're going to see all sorts of polar opposition, but that doesn't mean they actually exist in the reality that you are shifting to. You can still see them, but you're looking through glass at them. But do what it is that's germane for your particular preferred reality, your particular version of Earth. You do remember you never actually changed the planet you're on, right? You actually change yourself, and you shift to a version of Earth that already exists that's more reflective of the change you made in you. You never change the planet you're on. You take yourself to another version of Earth that is more representative of the version you prefer. Do you understand this?
So in that regard, the people that are about protecting and building and not destroying and polluting are going to go to another parallel reality of the earth. And others
are going. Bit by bit, moment by moment, you're navigating through different parallel realities and getting closer and closer and closer to experiencing only that version. For a while, you can still see the other versions, the other choices, but you're looking through glass. They can't reach you, you can't reach them if you stay in your preferred vibration. So just because you can see them and the choices that are making that are vibrationally incompatible with yours doesn't mean there's actually going to be an effect in your version of Earth. Do you understand?
Yeah, so then those who are optimistic about the future and, you hear millennials are more conscious about transparency and sort of going up against this resistance, this kind of old school model.
Yes.
There's then
getting a synchronistic example right now.
Right. I'm trying to tune it out, which I guess would be very metaphoric for.
You don't tune it out. That's the point. You don't tune it out. You become more
Rise
aware
above
of it. And you simply remain in your vibration so you can respond to it in a more positive and constructive way. Yes? Mm-hmm. So the idea is, be the example, be the living example, so that way you at least give others the opportunity to see the choice being given off by your example that they can also make for themselves should they decide to do so. And that's the help you can give others and the assistance you can give also to nature and your nature by expressing your nature. You allow others to see in you the example that allows them the choice to express their nature, but not that they have to.
Yeah, and I think when in trying to be and walk and live your truth around that, how do you navigate when there's leadership out there that is role modeling just the dichotomy of that, and you have to live in that collective consciousness of
I just told you that you don't live in it.
Okay.
You're not paying attention to what we're saying. Take us literally. It's not your reality. Just because you can see it doesn't mean you're in it.
Okay.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
You have to understand it's not your reality. I'm not talking about denial. Not talking about glossing things over. You have to literally understand that if you are operating in a certain vibrational frequency, you live in a different reality. Just because you can see the other one for a while doesn't mean you actually live in it. You're looking through a glass barrier at it. It's not your world. So they will choose to do whatever it is they're going to choose to do. That can have no effect on you unless you choose to be affected by it by saying such things as, I'm living in that world too. That's my collective reality too. but it doesn't have to be. Because if you understand what's happening and you're splitting into these parallel realities physically, then you'll understand that eventually you will not be able to perceive them because you'll be so far apart vibrationally on truly different parallel versions of Earth that you will ultimately, in the years to come, not perceive them anymore. But don't get fooled by the idea that just because you can see them, that it's your world. That's a message that comes from the negative belief systems they express. Do you understand? You're in my world and I control you and I decide for you. That's part of the negative belief system agenda, is to make you believe through fear that you actually are part of that world. But you're not. You don't have to pay attention to that message. Is this helping?
Yes, I mean, I think intellectually,
Oh,
spiritually,
there we go
emotionally.
again.
I think physically is the part that when you have the butterfly effect and you have...
You are making that distinction in your definition that there's a difference between the physical and the spiritual. There doesn't have to be. You do understand that you are a spirit, yes? And you understand that you are dreaming this physical reality into being as an experience within your spiritual consciousness?
Yes.
Then there is no real difference. You are making a difference for specific reasons. You're creating this experience that physical reality is different than spirit, but it's made of the same thing. It's made within you. It's in your consciousness. The distinction is arbitrary. And this is the thing that most of you are beginning to understand how to let go of, at least a little bit. So it becomes more malleable, more flexible, and you don't feel so hemmed in by an artificial structure, an arbitrary structure. It's pliable, it's plastic, it's your reality, and you get to decide that spirit and physical are closer than you think, so that you can experience yourself in a more quasi-physical, quasi-spiritual way. Yes? This is what is meant by bringing heaven down to earth. It's the vibration that you blend so that you understand that the physical and spiritual distinctions are simply distinctions you're making within your consciousness. And you're transforming this definition in a way that allows you to still experience some degree of physical reality, but in a much more spiritual, enlightened, uplifted, higher vibrational, fourth density way. That's what this transformational age is all about.
So how would you interpret the belief system of serving others is serving myself, that I have a calling to cultivate this level of awareness in others? And how do you reach people when you know that, like you said, we're living in different...
You don't.
Okay.
You reach the people that want to be reached. Do you understand? The ones that do not wish to be reached will never be reached by you anyway. So why bang your head against a wall? Be the living example, share the ideas that allow people to understand they can also understand those ideas, and then what they do with the information that you share, are you paying attention?
Very much so.
What they do with the information that you share is none of your business. Do you understand this? It's none of your business. You have to allow them to make their choices. Because if you're not being allowing, why should they be allowing for you? Because if you're not allowing and you're thinking you have to choose this, you must choose this, you're being just as negative as they are.
Unless, what about if you meet people where they are so that it's friendly and loving and non-judgmental?
You share and see what they do with the information that you share. That is the most you can help. Okay. By being the example, living the life, living the example, and sharing the information. That's as far as you can possibly take it. The rest is up to them. If they want to match the frequency, they will match the frequency. Yes, they will be of like mind. And then your family grows in that direction because they choose to be in that vibration with you. They choose to awaken to a new shared co-creation with you. But you can't force them to.
Okay, so I hear you in kind of the seventh step of manifestation, to just surrender, let go in the end.
Because when you talk about surrender, you're not surrendering control. You're surrendering to the control that's already built in. You're going with the flow of your own true current and allowing the unconditionality of existence to also let them decide what it is they will choose for their path. Do remember, you are all indestructible, eternal, and infinite beings. What's your rush? Yes? If they don't understand these concepts now in this life, they'll understand it somewhere, somehow, someday, somewhen. They don't have to understand it now. If they prefer a different reality than you, that's their path for now, and you have no business telling them otherwise, because you don't know what that path actually does for them. You're not living their life. They're not living yours. You can share, you can let them know there's an option. If they choose it, that's fine. If they don't, that's fine. Because you don't know what they're going to get out of it. It's none of your business.
That's fair. So just last point, that what I hear is this dynamic of, differences in the way people see things around something that seems so obvious to me.
Yes.
Ultimately, even in parallel realities and future lives, that resistance or that dichotomy will always exist, but I'll create my own parallel reality somewhere down the line where I'm in more of a unity consciousness.
Yes. Remember, as you expand your consciousness, you don't become less aware of the dichotomy. You become more aware of the dichotomy. But you don't have to choose it. You don't have to experience it. Do you understand?
Yes.
Being aware of it doesn't mean you have to experience it. You can then choose what you prefer, but you're validating that the other thing is still an equally valid choice. It's just that it's no longer relevant for you to choose. Yes?
Yes.
In these sharings that we do with all of you, do you not think that in these things, what is obvious to us over and over again appears to not be obvious to many of you at all? Yet we share, because we know that if you choose to align with these concepts and choose to understand that what we're giving you is literally a description of the structure of existence, literally an instruction manual for how reality works. This is physics, not philosophy. And if you choose to do that, then you can experience reality to your advantage instead of your disadvantage. We share this with you, but we don't insist that you have to believe it or live it, because that's your life. It's your choice. We do this not because we expect you to change. We do this because this is who we are, and we have no choice but to be who we are. This is our passion. This is our pleasure. Our pleasure can increase if you choose to join us, but our pleasure will not decrease if you don't.
Great point. Thank you very much. And thank you for all of your amazing wisdom.
And yours as well, because we are only reflecting back to all of you what we know you all know somewhere in your being. And all we're attempting to tell you is wake up to what you already know to be true. Yes?
Good day.
Good day!
Thank you.
Thank you.